Philippians 2:14. Do all things without complaining and disputing. Paul's exhortation is often more applicable to us than we care to admit. No one likes a complainer, and so we take great care to avoid being thought of as complainers. But of course, that alone doesn't keep us from complaining. We qualify our complaints. We seek to justify them. We think we're right to complain because it's just so hard right now. We attempt to hide our complaints by calling them something else. Well, I just need to vent about this. We even try to turn our complaints into virtues. I just want to be real. I want to be authentic. I want people to know I don't have everything put together, this false sense of humility. But complaining really is a sin. In fact, it is such a serious sin that it's one of the things that God used to keep Israel from entering the promised land because of their sin. They didn't like God's options for food. They thought the conditions in the desert were less than ideal. The sin of complaining kept them from receiving the great blessing that the Lord had for them. Paul goes on in Philippians to teach us what's at stake when we complain. Do all things without complaining and disputing, that you may become blameless and harmless, children of God without fault in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world. When Christians stop complaining, they shine as lights in the world. You see, complaining reveals a lack of contentment. And a lack of contentment among Christians teaches a lie about God, that He is not sufficient, that He is not all that you need. Complaining is therefore a form of blasphemy. And so as Christians, we cannot let a hint of this poison into our midst. We are to shine as lights in the world to a crooked and perverse generation. We are to model to those around us, as Paul says in Philippians 4, that we are content in all things through Christ who gives us strength. And so when we're tempted to complain, what do? The alternative is not to simply bottle your complaints up, to push them down and to never let them out, but to, first, as David regularly does in the Psalms, bring your complaints to God. Lay your burdens at His feet. Pour yourself out before Him. And second, when speaking to a brother or your spouse, instead of complaining about the difficult providence the Lord has brought you, seek godly counsel to actually address the situation. Don't go spreading your bad attitude around. Instead, get help. Ask for prayer. Ask for advice, all while trusting that the Lord will indeed give you the strength to endure that trial with joy.